The internet, as we know it today, unfortunately is a rather hateful place. People from different countries are airing out their grievances with each other and arguing a lot. And being a Russian, I come from a group of people in a country that is pretty heavily disliked right now, and that makes a lot of sense in my opinion. I mean, Russia is, at the end of the day, currently actively trying to destroy another country. So it does make sense. I mean, I personally try to live my life according to the ancient wisdom of there are no bad nations, only bad people. But I do understand that to the people getting literally bombed in Ukraine, this is not that much of a compelling argument, and it makes sense that these people would be mad at Russians right now. However, when we look at these arguments happening on Twitter, these kind of attitudes turn into very intense hatred that sometimes, when unchecked, actually ends up harming people who are completely not even related to Russia. For example, like this couple from Kazakhstan, who got made fun of for being poor and for having a poor-looking apartment or house by a bunch of people on Twitter who mistakenly identified these people as Russian citizens. And in my opinion, it is just absolutely ridiculous. So hey there people, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and in today's video we are going to be answering the question, is Twitter okay? Now obviously guys, my question about Twitter users being okay or not is a rhetorical question. They are not okay. They never have, and there's a reason why I don't use Twitter myself. I actually made a video about this on my second channel in which I talked about how quitting Twitter massively improved my mental health and everything. So yeah, go check that out. I'm actually going to be regularly uploading content on my second channel now talking about things that are not related to Russia or whatever. However, even though I don't want to be a personality on Twitter, sometimes I do still check out what is going on. So basically, essentially this entire drama started from this tweet right here, and the video here says, "First time trying shrimp." And these are the people that came to free us? This is the entirety of Russia in one video. So let's watch the video.
Всем привет! Сегодня мы едим первый раз в жизни креветки. Сделали на всякий случай с гарниром, с макарон. Мы даже не знаем, каких есть правильно. Мы уже немножко попробовали. Но муж говорит, вроде как вкусно. В общем, не знаю я даже, купим мы когда-нибудь еще такое или нет. Сам соус и макароны получились вкусными. А вот креветки мы едим и вилкой, и руками. Наверное, это маленькие. Но когда-нибудь, если я найду большие, я еще куплю, может быть.
So yes, that essentially is the entirety of this video. It is basically just a couple in what looks like, you know, as a sort of a village house, trying shrimp for the first time in their life. And look, I've already spoke to you guys that this family is from Kazakhstan. However, I can totally relate as a Russian myself. I come from a very regular, provincial, working-class family from the city of Chelyabinsk in Russia. And my family members, my grandparents, my parents have not tried a lot of things that you might consider completely normal in Europe or America. For example, in 2019, I visited Italy, Rome. And when I came back to Russia, I actually brought my family like truffles and truffle oil and parmesan and stuff like that. And my whole entire family gathered around and was trying these foods because I've never had them in an entire fucking life before. This is more common than you might think, especially in provincial or rural areas of, you know, many post-Soviet countries. So I don't exactly think there's anything super funny about this, but let's just keep going and see what the people are saying on the great website of Twitter. Somebody's laughing saying they're eating it with pasta, blять. And they're basically saying, yes, it's pasta, not just, you know, Soviet macaroni. Was there an earthquake in their house or something? The entirety of the ceiling is completely destroyed. Those are the Russian values. It's probably like that over there everywhere. Then they're saying, come on, it's pasta con gamberetti. Classic recipe of Italian cuisine. Then the poster replies saying, yeah, I see, they really remind me of Italians, ha ha ha. Or another guy here saying, come on, they're actually not eating it that wrong. This is pasta mediterranea con aglio and gamberi. Why are you idiots attacking these people? What's so wrong with eating shrimp with pasta, dude? This is literally like fucking pasta Russia, because they think this is Russia. Macaroni Kazakhstan, right? Versus fucking food Japan, you know, like... Pasta Italy. You know how they have this meme about how nobody cares in duck shit place, but if it's in Japan, everybody does? And everybody's like soy facing over it, place Japan, right? Ah, this is kind of what's going on here. Like, it's still pasta with shrimp. Maybe not made in an Italian way, but you know, I don't get it. They're also laughing saying they can eat it with buckwheat, don't give them any ideas. Oh, come on, everybody tries something for the first time. However, these people seem kinda awful. The woman is not particularly old, but she's unkempt, looking very pale. It's not pleasant to look at them. And the man probably doesn't really like to keep up his personal hygiene. So yes, you guys get it. A bunch of people came out making fun of this family, thinking that they're from Russia, and basically making memes about how, Russians are so poor, they're so uncivilized, they've never tried shrimp before, they don't even know how to make a proper pasta, their houses are destroyed and, look like they've had an earthquake or whatever. You get it, right? Subhuman Russian orcs in their habitat, like what they usually like to say. So here's when we get to the good part, which is the twist. That actually makes the story quite more interesting. This person right here, who as far as I understand is a Russian journalist, she responded to this controversy saying this: "Oh wow, this is quite interesting. It turned out that this family is actually from Kazakhstan and their house has been damaged because of a flood. They live in a village. The only one working in the family is the husband, who is Russian, and his wife is Kazakh, and she's a housewife that decided to start her own TikTok." And she's essentially asking here that, you guys are so great at spotting who is a supporter of Vladimir Putin and a supporter of the war just from their face.
Трава растет, березка. Под полом. Это еще 17-го года. Ну, 17-го года начала расти.
So yeah, this is a TikTok they have on their account about that they're trying to deal with the aftermath of a flood. Their house got flooded in Kazakhstan. They obviously seem like regular people who live in a village who do not have a lot of money. Once again, this is pretty regular for post-Soviet countries.
Приятного.
Всем приятного аппетита. Мы только что
Добрый вечер.
с прямого эфира, аккуратно, кушай. Садись ко мне ближе, тебя вообще не видно. Завершили прямой эфир.
So yeah, they're also like making mukbangs and stuff like that with regular foods that we eat in the post-Soviet countries. And I'm guessing,
Это я видео снимаю на камеру. Срываем ДВП в доме, чтобы сушить, потому что выбора нет. Жить идти некуда.
So yeah, in this video, I guess it's pretty obvious that it shows once again the aftermath of the floods. These people once again live in a regular village house, and this is nothing like very special. Millions of people live like this all over like Ukraine, Russia, Kazakhstan, Uzbekistan, Georgia, everywhere, okay? And then essentially she's also saying here, there's so much hate that has been poured on these simple, regular working class people that have tried shrimp for the first time in their life. Yes, with pasta. So what? You would be surprised if you learned how many people who live in poverty did not try this or that type of food. And we are supposed to make fun of them for this? Oh yeah, they speak Russian, then we can. And so obviously these tweets right here kind of blew up and a lot of people got very pissed, which started a, once again, a war of hate between Russians and Ukrainians on Twitter. And before I really even give my thoughts on this, right, I just want to show you guys a couple of the Twitter interactions that happens and, to just show you guys how cooked we are as a society and how, it's over, basically. It's pretty awful because this family also has a pretty sad history. Their house has been heavily damaged because of recent flooding. The father is working and the mother is looking after a disabled child. But the people in the comments are so angry and they have no empathy. Then a genius comes in saying, okay, we will explain it to you like you're 5. It's not about the shrimp. It's about the fact that this vatnik asshole wearing a tельняшка, having eaten the slop, will then drink a a little vodka and will start screaming, kill the send the rockets to Washington, we are the greatest, we will kill everybody. But at the same time, he's eating shrimp for the first time in his life. And again, it's funny because these people are from Kazakhstan, not Russia. And yes, it is definitely true that poor people in Russia, a lot of the time, are zombified by propaganda to hate Ukraine. For a lot of people in Russia, they are so terribly broke that they go to the contract army just to have any opportunity to make some money. It's a terrible system, it shows that Russia is a failed state, essentially, right? So yes, I understand where this person is coming from. It is true that there's a lot of Russians who essentially live in not great conditions, but who essentially think that they have the right to, teach Ukraine or, the West or, America how to live. And I totally understand the idea of that is funny. But once again, when you end up hating a random family who hasn't done anything, and the funniest part at the end of the day is that they're not even from Russia, I don't know, guys. It just maybe shows that the way you're acting and the way you're treating people is kind of insane. If they wouldn't speak the language of the invaders, they wouldn't be hated so much. A lot of the people also have been responding to this saying that, well, the husband is actually Russian. So it doesn't matter if he's a Kazakh Russian from Kazakhstan. And also the family, on top of everything, is also speaking Russian, which is absolutely awful. And that is why these people deserve hate. Which doesn't make sense to me, by the way, because if you want to, like, decolonize Russia and also if you want to remove Russian influence from the post-Soviet countries, why are you, like, attacking people who are citizens of Kazakhstan for speaking Russian? Why are you attacking the people who have been essentially colonized? Let's attack people who speak Russian in countries that are not Russia and say that they're, terrible orcs and subhumans. And then also defend ourselves by saying that everybody who speaks Russian, no matter what country they're from, is subhuman and deserves hate. So, again, I'm not exactly sure if that's a great outlook to have, especially when there's a lot of Russian speakers in Ukraine and a ton of people from post-Soviet countries still speak Russian. I understand these people are traumatized, they have PTSD, they dislike Russians right now, and they have the right to dislike Russians, but like, when do we get to the line here? You know what I'm saying? Where you're basically hating on a poor family from Kazakhstan from a village with a disabled kid for the reason that you want to epically own Russians online. I don't know, it doesn't really compute in my head, to be honest. If they're Kazakh, then they should be speaking Kazakh. I forgot to ask you. Yeah, you see guys, all of this is just very, very sad. And once again, this is a perfect example of why I do not use Twitter. Because the discourse on Twitter is just absolutely insane. There's so many people on Twitter that are just trolling, rage baiting, posting the most like Nazi shit imaginable. So it's obvious that the conversations regarding Russia, Ukraine also really go in the wrong direction a lot of the time, you know what I'm saying? People like Ilya Yashin, for example, are even hated by Ukrainian Twitter, which are literally people who have spoken out about Russian war crimes and like literally went to prison, okay, for speaking out against the invasion of Ukraine. On day one, even before day one, these are people who have been, essentially in the opposition fighting against Vladimir Putin for ages, but now what they like to say is that all Russians are the same, the Russian opposition is not really opposition, all Russians actually want to destroy Ukraine, all Russians hate Ukraine, and once again, they're calling people like Ilya Yashin, somebody who's literally been trialed for discrediting the Russian armed forces, okay, for criticizing this special military operation. There's a lot of people on Twitter who are calling him a like Russian imperialist who wants to destroy Ukraine. Like, go fuck yourself at this point. Get off my dick. I don't even care. And I know that not all Ukrainians are like this, and once again that Twitter basically has the worst of humanity on it. But once again, I still do find it really fascinating, because it's like we're getting to a point where I don't even understand why they're doing it. Sure, if you're Ukrainian, you can have your, battle against Russian culture or whatever. You don't want Russians to look good in the eyes of foreigners, I get that. You don't want foreigners to care about the woes of Russians, you want the foreigners to care about Ukraine more. And they should care more, I do think, but like, what exactly are you achieving here? You know what I'm saying? Okay, sure, you can attack Russians, Russian citizens, Russian politicians, even those who are against Putin, who have given up their fucking life to fight against Putin. Sure, you can do that, but where exactly is the epic win, once again, in bullying a family from Kazakhstan just because one member of the family happens to be a Russian who was probably born in Kazakhstan? And because they happen to speak Russian on a daily basis. Guess what? A ton of Kazakhs speak Russian on a daily basis. Not even Russian Kazakhs, simply Kazakhs. People in Armenia speak Russian all the time. Like, should we nuke these countries now or something? Like, what are you talking about? What is the fucking point? And once again, I do find it also funny how these people are essentially just making fun of poverty, right? Once again, we all know that Russia is a terrible backwards shithole and Ukraine is a beautiful European country where there's not a single pothole, not a single piece of trash has ever been on the ground, and also, you don't have poor people in villages, right? Who have never tried shrimp before. Okay, I guess. I just don't fucking believe you, quite honestly, because, once again, in every single post-Soviet country, there's a fucking billion of people just like this that live in regular villages or small towns who have never been abroad because they've been working hard all their fucking life if they've been fucked by multiple geopolitical changes in their life, wars, the USSR falling apart, whatever, they've gone through many hardships in their lives, and they didn't fucking get to visit Venice. Unbelievable. And these people also speak Russian, we should kill them, I guess. We're just gonna kill them! We're just gonna kill them! Like, are you fucking insane? You do realize that you have the exact same people like this in Ukraine. You know what I'm saying? And I'm absolutely not trying to say that Russia is the same as Ukraine. Ukraine is obviously a more of a Western-oriented country, right? Russia is like basically just a dictatorship at this point, with no free speech or anything. Russia has real fucking problems. I'm not happy with Russia, that's why I don't fucking live there. However, to act like there's no people in Ukraine who are going through the same bullshit, who also live in like bad village houses, who also live in poverty, and who also haven't tried shrimp before in their life, but like, you are fucking insane. You're literally making fun of like the regular working person in your country as well. Once again, I do understand that Ukrainians have more of a free travel in the world. They get to go to the European Union, for example, without a visa, which makes them more cultured, sort of, and experienced in a sense in other countries, other foods, right? But once again, that also applies mostly to either people who are young or people who can afford to even travel abroad. And once again, some family that lives in a village house and has a disabled kid, and who doesn't have a lot of money. It's completely normal that these people have not ever tried shrimp or fucking parmesan or foie gras or fucking, I don't fucking know, what's the fucking white, European food? It's basically this kind of dichotomy between swamp, backwards, awful Russia versus wonderful, beautiful Ukraine that is simply just sparkling because of how clean it is. Again, guys, get fucking real. We live in post-Soviet shitholes. The entirety of the world thinks we're fucking poor and dumb. Look at the fucking ASAP Rocky video he just released, okay? That is essentially what the world thinks the fucking Eastern Europe looks like. And they're kinda not wrong also. Like, calm the fuck on. And also it's been kind of funny to see the reaction of the original poster to people calling them out and saying that it's actually a family from Kazakhstan, not even Russia. Again, they said, this is Kazakhstan after an earthquake. I mean, they're wrong, it was a flood, not an earthquake, but it says, you've been already told that, and the person just responds with, go fuck yourself, иди нахуй. Great logic. Or this interaction is rather funny. This guy's saying here, are you gonna basically say sorry to the people of Kazakhstan? Or are you gonna be continuing spewing your garbage? And the person's who posted a response saying, the Slavic peasant face of the man really definitely looks like a Kazakh. Yes, yes. Again, these are all Twitter users. The people that I'm reading right now who are correcting this person might also be terrible fucking insane like Russian chauvinists too, so I'm not even necessarily defending them. Fuck all of you. But the point is, once again, Russia is definitely in the wrong in this conflict, and I understand a lot of people feel very frustrated and very annoyed with Russia and they want to completely separate themselves from Russia and anything Russian. But once again, sometimes this kind of behavior just leads to situations like this, and I think this is just a perfect example of how Twitter radicalizes people and how in your quest to, fight the Russian Nazis or whatever, you might just become a Nazi yourself if you're on Twitter too much. And once again, I really just cannot understand how you can make fun of poverty like this and also attack people who have nothing in relation to Russia at all. I mean, even if these people were Russian, I don't think it necessarily gives you the right to shit on these people for being poor and trying shrimp for the first time, but it is just so much funnier, in my opinion, to show with this example right here where the people who are being hated on are not even from Russia. Like, it could not be more poetic, so moral of the story is, guys, stop using Twitter. It's not good for your mental health, it's not good for your thoughts, and it's not good for you. Rather than spreading hate online, try to say something nice to a fellow human being and try to uplift somebody's day, okay? And now, guys, after this video, let's see all the funny stuff that they're gonna say about me on Twitter. I'm really excited. But yeah, guys, I guess that is going to be pretty much it for today's video though. We looked at the insanity of Twitter. I hope you enjoyed it. If you guys did, then please make sure to slap the like button on this video. Subscribe to the channel if you're new, and also, if you guys like what I do here, if you would like to support me additionally, and that is financially, then go over to the link down in the description and become a YouTube member. It is basically like YouTube's own version of Patreon. It's the best way to support me. It's a monthly donation type thing. Or you can do a super thanks underneath this video for a one-time donation. Thank you guys once again so much for watching this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.